Hello, everyone, and welcome to Establishing Referential Integrity via the SQL alter command. Okay, now we have our physical database all defined with our foreign keys, and we literally established relationships between our tables now based upon the true theory, or we want to say methodology, around relational databases. So, congratulations. Good job so far. With that, we want to take it one more step, and we want to make sure that the data that we have that we think that we're establishing is good data. Because it's very easy, as you saw, entering data via inserts, that we can enter things that really don't match up. If we do that, all of a sudden we have bad data, data that just won't even be worth anything to us, let alone information that will be provided to our management or whoever needs the information. So we need to establish what's called referential integrity. That's what this video is all about, talking about that a little bit, learning how to ensure referential integrity, how we're going to do that physically in our database, and then we'll go ahead and show you how we do that in our database, okay? So with that said, let's get started. Whoops, sorry. Referential integrity is a relational database concept which states that table relationships must always be consistent. In other words, any foreign key must agree with the primary key that is referenced by the foreign key. In other words, you cannot have a foreign key without a corresponding primary key. I hope that just makes blatant sense to you, in the sense that why would I have a foreign key, a number with no corresponding primary key? It doesn't point to anything. And so we don't want that. And later on, when we get into our select statements or joins that I keep referring to, that data will never show up because it never doesn't have a corresponding primary key to it. Those particular rows, if you will, are called orphaned records. And usually when I do this in a classroom, everybody goes, "aw." So feel free to awe, if you like. So anyway, with that said, that's what this whole thing's about. We want to make sure that we don't have that. And what's cool about it is the database management system can actually take care of that. Anyway, kind of giving up the punchline of this whole particular video. So why is it important? It's just that. If we sit back and look at this particular case of instructors and courses, we have our primary key 1 to our foreign key in courses. Same thing here. But here we have this foreign key 3, and it doesn't match anything over instructors. This particular row is considered an orphaned row, meaning it's useless in our database. It will never be used for anything. We can't have that. All that's doing is taking up a lot of space that we're trying so hard to prevent, right, from using, wasted space. So we want to make sure our database is efficient and effective in our storage so we can get the information out as quickly as possible to our users. All right? So how do we ensure this? Okay. Well, we can do it in code. I've worked on different projects where the database management system didn't ensure referential integrity, and we had to ensure it basically via code. Well, that's kind of a pain. And sometimes you have good programmers who make sure it's taken care of, and you have bad programmers who don't care about it. And next thing you know, you got a bunch of orphaned records in your database. Will things work? Yes, they will. However, once again, it could slow the database down. It could actually be some viable information there that doesn't point to anything, and that is a problem. All right. So I rather let the database management system take care of it for us. It will make sure that whatever foreign key that we put in our rows corresponds to a primary key. All right. How we're going to teach you how to do it here is via an alter command. So an alter command is a command that basically can alter any table. You can do this in your code. You can do this at any time. And literally what you're doing is you're going back to the table that you created and you're altering it in some way. You can add additional column. You can add additional column. You can add new constraints. You can do all kinds of things with the alter command. And I welcome that you go to W3 Schools and learn a little bit more about the alter command. For what we're doing though, we're going to alter the tables to add a new foreign key constraint. That's how we're going to handle it. Okay. Now, like I said, We can shortcut this and not use an alter command. You can actually create the constraints as you're building the create tables. As a matter of fact, if you go to W3 Schools that we refer you to, it actually tells you how to do that and states that you should do that. However, like I said, we're kind of breaking it down and baby stepping into it to make sure you completely understand what it is you're doing. All right, what's an alter command look like? What's it going to look like? Well, here it is. So for us to add the constraint of a foreign key, we're basically going to say alter table T courses. Okay, we're going to add a constraint. So we're altering our T courses table. We're adding a new constraint called T courses T instructors for FK. So that's basically the foreign key. The foreign key INT instructor ID is going to reference the instructor's INT instructor ID. So what we're saying here is we're building this foreign key. This INT instructor ID in the course table will now reference this table. And this little statement will now make sure that every piece of data that goes in our database has a matching primary key, no matter what we try to do. If we do try to put in a bad foreign key, it will error out. It will say it's not there and that you can't do that. All right? Sorry, okay. Let's go try it in our script now, okay? So let's get back to our script. Oop, over there it is. And I already kind of did one for us as we kind of go through it. All right, so here we actually put this in our script. So go ahead and we have our commands here to our creates, I should say, to establish our tables and also establish our primary keys. Then now our new second step. So this forevermore in this class, you'll have this new second step. You may want to add this to your template. Step 2, establish referential integrity. Okay. What I like to see is you kind of plan it out a little bit. And if you allow yourself to do this, you can do a lot of cutting and pasting along the lines. Because, let's just say, at one point in time, you may have a database that has 20 tables. You're going to be establishing a lot of different things here when it comes to foreign keys, okay? So, in this particular case, what I like to see is that you represent what the child table is, what the parent table is, and then what's the actual key, primary key and foreign key, in which is going to establish the relationship. Just write it down. If we continue with this, I put number 1 there because I want you to put it in order and reference it down here per alter statement. Number 2, you'll come over here and say, well, we also need to, our child table for our next one is going to be student courses, right? And our parent table will be T students. And our column that we're going to establish that relationship will be that. And of course, we have one more to go here. So with that and the fact that I love the cut and paste, I'll go ahead and do this real fast and come down to our third establishment here. Oh, that didn't work like I hoped. There you go. And T course students again. In this case, we're not going to do students. We're going to do courses. Okay, and it's going to be the course ID. All right. And let's go ahead and get a space in here. So number 1, referring to this up here, I'm altering the table for T courses. See, I can literally cut and paste that if I wanted to. Add constraint, T courses, T instructors. All right. The foreign key is going to be the INT instructor ID, which I could cut and paste that if I wanted to, into the INT course T instructors table. Let me capitalize that for us. And then finally, it's going to reference the T instructors tables primary key, which is the INT instructor ID. Does that make sense? Yes, we will start grading on the fact that you have this. I want you to actually comment. I want you to actually think before you dive in. We want to force that. Trust me, it'll actually take you less time. So with that said, let's do those last 2, and I'll show you how it doesn't have to be an overly tedious project for you. Okay, so number 2 in this case, which is going to reference this one, this case, our child's going to be T courses, and all I need to do is cut and paste that there. My constraint, my constraint is going to be called, once again, T courses, and then in this case, we're going to do it with T students. So I'll cut and paste that here. And let's just kind of keep going. We're going to reference the T students, so I'll cut and paste that there. The actual ID then is going to be this one and this one. All right. That wasn't too bad, right? I mean, it shouldn't take you hours to do something like that. So if I plan it out, I can cut and paste and put everything in here. Let's do one more, which will be our third alter. Let's make that a 3. T students courses is still good. In this case, it's going to be T student courses to T courses. And then we're going to reference the course ID. I should have put that one in there for us. I'll go back and do that. But boom, boom, and then T courses. There you go. You just now established referential integrity. Congratulations. Now we really have established physically these relationships, okay? In the next video, I'm going to show you kind of the effects of this based upon our script. Some errors you may actually get. So I want to make sure you don't get those, or if you do get those, you know how to handle. So that would be the next video. Take a look at that.